Hi, this is Ryan Fury from Velocivaper.com. I'm here today to review the Twisted Messes RDA. I've been a huge fan of this RDA lately. I've been using it a lot. It's pretty much replaced my mutation version 4. So inside the box is you get your standard variety of O-rings and post pins, and you get an Allen wrench, but they also send you 2 additional peak insulators and an additional 510 post pin. The 510 post pin is silver plated brass. So inside the box you get a whole bunch of stuff. So the whole RDA is made out of 304 stainless steel. And one of the big features of it is that the posts have 2.8 millimeter holes, so they can accommodate pretty huge builds on them. The juice well is 6 millimeters deep, and they give you a bunch of different designs. So you've got your basic center chamber part, and then you have the airflow control, which has 3 holes, or 3 sets of holes, so that you can do a single coil design and block off the other side, or you can do your dual coil designs and close them down as much as you'd like. And then the drip tip, you have the stainless steel large chuff drip tip. You also have a Delrin drip tip, and you have a 510 adapter. So the actual tops, they screw down, and when they do, they hold your airflow control to where you want it to be, so it doesn't slide back and forth. And then also included with it are 2 different colored airflow controls. You have the blue, which is the one I've mostly been using, and you also have a stainless steel colored one. So I'm going to do a pretty quick build on here with none of this stuff. So I'm going to do a small build. This is actually Clapton wire, and I'm going to wrap it around 4 times around 3 millimeter. So the thing with this RDA is it kind of challenges you to step up your building game, because it makes my coils look extremely tiny. It's actually 3 wraps. Allen wrench to screw it down. Kind of try to center it a bit. And then wrap my next one. Wrench this one down. So this should come out to be about 3 ohms, usually a little over, kind of depending on how long the legs are. I'm going to try to center them a little more before I dry burn it. And a nice thing about this atomizer is it doesn't really leak a whole bunch because it's got the 2 O-rings on the bottom that are blocking off the juice, and it also is not a bottom fed RDA. I'm trying to get out all my hot spots. Get the coils a little more centered. That's the thing I like about the ceramics tweezers. That one looks pretty ugly. It's about as good as I'm going to get that one. Add a little better. So I just want to make sure that my coils, my airflow is just under my coils. So they need to come up a tiny bit. They're pretty even now. So I still like using rayon a lot, so I'm going to wick this with rayon. I need a little more on that side. And then I cut it off so that it just touches the bottom of the juice well. So that's how I measure it on each side. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides, is measure them to the base of the deck. And it'll usually give me a little bit more than what I need. And I can either trim it based on that, or I can just leave it as is and kind of push it behind there. So I'm going to do that all the way around. And I'll always know better once I get the juice on the wick. So I use my tweezers just to kind of pick up and place down. And it's the juice well for this atomizer is just so incredibly deep. And then I just make sure that there's nothing blocking the airflow from underneath the coil. And then do the exact same thing for the other side. So I'm just going to put juice on the coil. And I just tuck it in a little better. But I can literally fit this whole syringe worth of juice in here. And probably more. So like I said, I haven't had a lot of problems with it leaking. And it comes in at 0.45 ohms. So I've been vaping at about 65, 70 watts depending on the juice. Here's 72. So this thing definitely, it hits very hard, and I absolutely love this RDA. So I put it together, and because I like flavor more than I do the clouds, I'm going to line just one of the juice holes up to under the coil, and I'm going to close off everything else. And that'll pretty much hold down the airflow. And I tend to drip through the top. I can take this Delrin top off, but the only problem I've had with it is that the O-ring around the Delrin is a little loose, and I end up having problems putting it back on. So I tried using O-ring, lube, juice, everything to see if I can get it back on a little easier. And the O-ring lube has helped a lot, but sometimes